As the dollar rallied back today and yields went higher, nothing fell harder than Bitcoin after a 5% jump at the open bell here for U.S. stocks. We're now negative for the king of crypto. Let's bring in Scott Bauer, CEO of Prosper Trading Academy. Quite an up and down session here, Scott. Maybe the verdict's still out with about 15 minutes left. What'd you think about today?
Yeah, I mean, it was a classic case of risk on earlier this morning as the dollar was just slightly weaker. And then throughout the day, as we saw the dollar, rally back, it was risk off all of a sudden. So it tells you just, in the crypto market, especially Bitcoin, how tentative the market is, just like the equity markets, quite frankly. And, the fact that it could not break out over 20,500, that was almost the high today. That was a real important point. That would have been some impetus for a continuation to the upside. So, it doesn't take a genius to notice that, as we saw, Bitcoin and the whole crypto space was trading with the NASDAQ lockstep for a good portion of the year over the last, 6 weeks, 2 months maybe, lockstep with the dollar.
Yeah, that relationship tradable, still, you think, something that we can count on?
It absolutely is tradable, but I think you got to trade it from the short side. So I think you got to be, selling every rip and be careful when you're buying. I mean, I think we can see 18,000 here again, which would probably be a great place to accumulate. But, if the current trajectory of the Fed, if the landscape doesn't change over the next month or so, and if we see the dollar continue to grind higher here, that is just going to put massive pressure on this. And I think we see 18.5 possibly down to 18.
What do you think did it today, that dollar bounce? Was it economic data, speakers from the Fed, all the above? What do you think was behind it?
I think a lot of it was the speakers from the Fed. We've got it seems like all of them have come out. And I think there was only one of them that said, we need to be a little bit cautious. The rest of them all seem to be, okay, we've got to stay this course. We've got to remain hawkish. We're not done with rate hikes. So I think just the rhetoric from that put a lot of pressure on Bitcoin and propped up the dollar. And then you saw, a little bit of a rally this morning in the euro, in the pound because of the weaker dollar. And that faded away as well this afternoon. So
the pound situation, the currencies, is there like a world here where maybe the coiners will get a second chance at their narrative if we keep seeing crazy spikes in volatility for currencies, or is that potential lost as being some pseudo replacement to sovereign debt and currencies?
No, I think there is definitely the possibility of another push here. I mean, if we were to see the dollar kind of retreat back towards 110 or so, Oliver, that could be the exact rationale, the exact reason to see a pop in Bitcoin, maybe up to 25,000 or so. But again, the headwinds far outweigh the tailwinds at this point here. And again, if you're trading this, on a daily basis and not just accumulating on dips, you've got to trade it from the short side.
Okay. All right, there it is. Thanks, Scott. Always like the update.
Thank you.
Nice to get into the trader mindset. CEO of Prosper Trading Academy.